Welcome to College Briefing. The content of the briefing includes: can you control where you lose weight on your body? Young runs for 139 yards, 2 TDs to help Kentucky beat UTEP 21-13. Californians bet farming agave for spirits holds key to weathering drought and groundwater limits. Joel Klatt updates power rankings, top 10 after week 10. Will China's Xinjiang cotton output get a boost from Western satellites? Can you control where you lose weight on your body? ABC. Spot reduction, the concept that you can burn fat in a specific body area with specially designed exercises or workouts, is a myth. Fat is stored all over the body and is burned for energy when we exercise, so it is not possible to target specific fat stores. Research has consistently shown that spot reduction is not effective, and over-the-counter pills and supplements claiming to target fat loss are not supported by scientific evidence. Instead, overall fat loss through exercise and a healthy lifestyle is the key to achieving desired results in specific areas. Young runs for 139 yards, 2 TDs to help Kentucky beat UTEP 21-13. Associated Press. Western Kentucky defeated UTEP 21-13 in a Conference USA game on Saturday night. Elijah Young rushed for 139 yards and 2 touchdowns in the second half to help the Hilltoppers secure the victory. UTEP took a 3-0 lead into halftime but failed to convert a fourth down on their first possession of the second half, allowing Young to score a 64-yard touchdown. Western Kentucky quarterback Austin Reed threw a 10-yard touchdown pass to Malachi Conley to extend their lead to 14-3. UTEP responded with a 62-yard touchdown pass, but Western Kentucky sealed the win with another touchdown run from Young. Californians bet farming agave for spirits holds key to weathering drought and groundwater limits. Associated Press. Farmers in California are increasingly planting agave plants to be harvested and used to make spirits, such as tequila and mezcal. The trend is driven by the need to find crops that require less water and increasing demand for premium alcoholic beverages. Agave is a hardy plant that thrives on minimal water, making it an attractive option for farmers facing restrictions on groundwater pumping and changing weather patterns due to climate change. California is taking steps to protect its nascent agave spirits industry, with a law enacted last year requiring California agave spirits to be made only with plants grown in the state and without additives. A dozen growers and a handful of distillers have also formed the California Agave Council, which has tripled in size since last year. The group aims to promote the industry and ensure the quality of agave spirits produced in California. While agave is not yet grown on a large scale in the state, interest in the crop is growing among farmers looking for water-efficient alternatives to traditional crops. Joel Klatt updates power rankings, top 10 after week 10. Yahoo! Fox Sports premier analyst, Joel Klatt, has updated his top 10 college football teams after week 10. The top 3 teams remain unchanged, with Michigan, Georgia, and Ohio State continuing to dominate. Klatt ranks the Michigan Wolverines first with a 9-0 record. They beat Purdue 41-13 on Saturday. The Georgia Bulldogs also have a 9-0 record and are ranked second. They defeated Florida 43-20. The Ohio State Buckeyes are in third place with a 9-0 record. They beat Rutgers 35-16. Will China's Xinjiang cotton output get a boost from Western satellites? South China Morning Post. Researchers in China have used satellite images to map cotton production in Xinjiang, the largest cotton-producing region in China. The detailed mapping project, which covers the period from 2018 to 2021, could help improve crop management and farming output. The data set, which is available on the open repository Zenodo, can be used for high-precision cotton monitoring, disease prevention and control, and yield forecasting. China produces over 20% of the world's cotton, with Xinjiang accounting for 90% of the country's cotton output last year. LSU QB Jayden Daniels leaves Alabama game after taking hard hit. Associated Press. LSU quarterback Jayden Daniels was injured in a hard hit during a game against Alabama. Daniels was hit by Alabama linebacker Dallas Turner, which drew a roughing the passer flag. After walking off the field and re-entering the game, Daniels called a timeout and went back to the sideline. CBS reported that Daniels was in concussion protocol and his mother came down to the medical tent to check on him. Garrett Nussmeier took his place in the game while Daniels received medical attention. Prior to his injury, Daniels was leading the nation in total offense, averaging 387 yards per game. He had completed 15 of 24 passes for 219 yards and 2 touchdowns, with 1 interception. He also ran for 163 yards and a touchdown on 11 carries. Georgia throws its weight around to defeat Missouri and stay unbeaten. Washington Post. The University of Georgia Bulldogs have continued their winning streak, winning 30-21 against the University of Missouri Tigers. In a game where the Bulldogs were outgained by the Tigers, they had to rely on a 44-yard interception return by 320-pound lineman Nazir Stackhouse, which was eventually called back due to a penalty. The play was nonetheless significant as it was the game's first turnover and set up a field goal. The win means that the Bulldogs now have a winning streak of 26, a regular season winning streak of 36, a home winning streak of 24, a program record-tying figure, and an overall record of 42 wins and 1 loss since November 2020. The Bulldogs are now 9-0 for the season and well-positioned for a fourth college football playoff bid. Michigan asks Big Ten commissioner to await for NCAA investigation before acting on allegations. Associated Press. University of Michigan President Santa Ono has asked the Big Ten Conference to wait for the results of the NCAA's sign-stealing investigation before taking action against the university's football program. He stated that due process must be followed and that the reputations and livelihoods of coaches, students, and the program should not be sacrificed in a rush to judgment. The NCAA is investigating Michigan for allegedly sending people to opponents' games to record video that would be used to decode their in-game signals. How the Guardian and BBC got swept up in a wave of anti-Semitism. Telegraph. Left-leaning media outlets, including the BBC, The Guardian, and The New York Times, have faced criticism and accusations of bias and anti-Semitism in their coverage of the recent Israel-Palestine conflict. The BBC has been accused of perpetuating a modern blood libel by speculating on the cause of an explosion at a Gaza hospital and refusing to brand Hamas as a terrorist organization. The New York Times has been criticized for rehiring a journalist who expressed support for Hitler on social media. The Guardian has been accused of publishing an unbelievably crass opinion piece entitled "Israel Must Stop Weaponizing the Holocaust." The controversy has highlighted the contradictions and divisions within left-wing media outlets. The liberal worldview bias that paints Israel as the oppressor is a driving force behind the perceived bias. Many left-leaning outlets struggle to conceive of Israel as a victim and find it difficult to criticize Hamas. The rise of social media has also allowed individual journalists to express their personal views publicly, often in conflict with the views of their employers. The fast-paced nature of social media has also made verification more difficult and errors more likely. Experts warn that media outlets must be vigilant in recognizing and addressing anti-Semitism and bias in their coverage. The conflict in Israel is just one example of a wider crisis within liberal media outlets. As disinformation and fabricated stories become more prevalent on social media, the need for accurate and reliable journalism is crucial. Media companies must navigate internal politics and divisions to ensure that their coverage is fair and impartial. Stone propels SMU to 36-31 victory over Rice. Associated Press. SMU defeated Rice 36-31 in a college football game on Saturday night. Preston Stone threw 2 touchdown passes and ran for a score to lead SMU to victory. Rice took an early 7-0 lead, but SMU responded with a touchdown pass and a touchdown run to take a 14-7 lead. The game was tied at halftime, but SMU pulled ahead with a touchdown run and a field goal. Rice scored a touchdown in the fourth quarter to make it a 5-point game, but SMU sealed the victory with a late field goal. Preston Stone completed 15 of 28 passes for 224 yards and also rushed for 81 yards. Clement runs, throws SC Louisiana past McNeese in Camden Sixgaller's debut, 38-24. Associated Press. Southeastern Louisiana defeated McNeese 38-24 in a Southland Conference game. Zachary Clement threw for 2 touchdowns and rushed for 114 yards to lead the Lions to victory. Rodeo Graham Jr. contributed 3 rushing touchdowns. Southeastern Louisiana has now won 2 consecutive games after starting the season with 7 straight losses. McNeese's true freshman quarterback, Camden Sixgaller, completed 9 of 19 passes for 130 yards and a touchdown. Joey Aguilar throws 3 touchdown passes. Appalachian State defeats Marshall 31-9. Associated Press. Appalachian State defeated Marshall 31-9 on Saturday night, thanks in large part to quarterback Joey Aguilar's 3 touchdown passes. The Mountaineers scored 21 points in the second quarter to take a commanding lead at halftime. Aguilar completed 19 of 26 passes for 226 yards and spread his completions among 10 different receivers. Marshall quarterback Kim Fancher struggled, throwing 1 touchdown pass and 3 interceptions. The Mountaineers outgained the Thundering Herd in total yards, 404 to 243. Maryland reaches new depths in another loss to Penn State. Washington Post. The Maryland football team lost 51-15 to Penn State on Saturday, leaving the Terrapins still in need of another win to secure bowl eligibility amid a slide that entered its second month. Talia Tagovailoa finished 29 for 39 for 286 yards and 2 touchdowns, setting a career high with 17 consecutive completions to start the game. Why college teammate Breece Hall knows Brock Purdy will bounce back. Yahoo! Breece Hall, former college teammate of San Francisco 49ers quarterback Brock Purdy, is confident that Purdy will bounce back from his recent struggles. Hall recalled their time together at Iowa State, where they experienced both victories and defeats, and believes that Purdy will rebound and play better. Despite recent interceptions, Purdy still ranks third among all NFL quarterbacks with a 74.4 QBR this season. The 49ers will face the Jacksonville Jaguars in Week 10. Here's what you need to know about UC Bearcat basketball's opener versus Illinois-Chicago. Yahoo! The University of Cincinnati men's basketball team kicks off their 2023-24 season against the Flames of Illinois-Chicago. The Bearcats are coming off a 23-13 season which saw them make it to the NIT quarterfinals. 2 starters are back from that team along with some transfers and first-year players. The team is currently waiting to hear news on the transfer waivers of 7-foot senior Aziz Bandago and 6 feet 11 inches senior Jamil Reynolds. Both have had their NCAA waiver claims denied despite following guidelines to make their moves based on mental health reasons. Ladies and gentlemen, it's your 6 doctor here, coming to you from the wondrous world of 6 degrees. Today, we've got a diverse range of news stories, from debunking fitness myths to the rise of agave farming in California. But before we dive into the analysis, let me introduce myself. I'm the 6 Doctor, your trusty observer of the 6 Degrees universe, here to bring you a dose of wit, humor, and insight. Now, let's jump right into it. First up, we have the myth-busting revelation that you can't control where you lose weight on your body. Sorry, folks, no amount of targeted exercises will magically make that stubborn belly fat disappear. Fat is stored all over our bodies, and when we exercise, it's burned from various areas. So, the key to shedding those extra pounds is overall fat loss through exercise and a healthy lifestyle. Remember, the only spot reduction that truly works is reducing the size of your pizza slice. Next, we have the world of college football, where Western Kentucky triumphed over UTEP, and the Georgia Bulldogs continued their winning streak against the Missouri Tigers. But let's not forget the injury suffered by LSU quarterback Jaden Daniels. Hopefully, he'll be back on the field soon, running like the wind and dodging those hard hits. And speaking of hits, the University of Michigan is asking the Big Ten Conference to wait for the NCAA's investigation into sign-stealing allegations before taking action. Let's hope the truth prevails and justice is served, on and off the field. In other news, farmers in California are turning to agave plants as a water-efficient alternative to traditional crops. It seems like Mother Nature has provided us with a solution to weathering drought and groundwater limits. And speaking of nature's wonders, researchers in China are using satellite images to map cotton production in Xinjiang. With this detailed mapping, farmers can improve crop management and farming output. Who knew that satellites could help us grow cotton? Now, let's tackle a more controversial topic. Left-leaning media outlets like The Guardian and BBC have faced accusations of bias and anti-Semitism in their coverage of the Israel-Palestine conflict. The rise of social media has allowed individual journalists to express their personal views publicly, sometimes conflicting with their employers' views. It's a tricky situation, and it highlights the need for accurate and reliable journalism in the face of disinformation. Let's hope media outlets can navigate these challenges and provide fair and impartial coverage. And finally, in the world of sports, we have SMU and Southeastern Louisiana securing victories in college football, while Appalachian State triumphed over Marshall. But let's not forget the Maryland football team's tough loss to Penn State, leaving them in need of another win for bowl eligibility. Hang in there, Terps, the game isn't over yet. Well, folks, that wraps up our news roundup for today. It's been a wild ride, from debunking fitness myths to discussing media bias and everything in between. Now, I turn it over to you, my fantastic viewers. What are your thoughts on these stories? Do you have any burning questions for your 6 doctor? It's your time to shine, so don't be shy. Let's keep the conversation going and uncover the secrets of the 6 Degrees universe together. That's all for now, my lovely viewers. Stay curious, stay witty, and stay tuned for more adventures with your 6 doctor. Until next time. Thank you for tuning in. The content above showcases the latest briefing reports and analytical synopses, thoughtfully curated by the 6 Do team. These insights stem from a wide array of reputable media outlets, think tanks, government sources, and specialized experts worldwide. We encourage you to explore these sources for a comprehensive perspective. Keep in mind that while the content may not always align with the official standpoint of 6Do Brief, it's not meant to be taken as absolute directives for decision-making. Comprising seasoned media professionals, learned scholars, and accomplished scientists, the 6Do team embodies a trailblazing, fully independent media entity. To customize 6Do Brief to meet your professional needs, you have the option to subscribe to a diverse array of briefings on our website, 6dobrief.com. Regardless of your location, you can conveniently receive 6Do Brief via email.